Are you ready to become the godly woman that he is praying for? Today is going to be so good. Hi, my name is Kalia Cooper, and welcome to the Kalia Cooper channel. So, today we're going to be talking about how to prepare yourself for a godly match, and this is going to be everything. And so before we dive in and get started, I have something for you right away. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit like. I have a free training for you for my women who you're like, I want to attract my godly husband. I have a free training for you down below. Go ahead and grab the goodies, grab the things. It's going to show you exactly how to position yourself as the woman that he cannot get enough of. And so many women ask, where is he? Where is my husband? But the better question is, am I preparing myself to be the woman that he's praying for? Today, we're talking about how to switch from searching to becoming. And so, this is exactly what we do at my channel here and also in our signature Single to Wife program. But today I'm going to help you to have a roadmap on how to walk this out. And so, can I be real with you? I have been married to the love of my life now for over 8 years, and it's been the best 8 years of my life. I'm obsessed, okay? We have 4 children, and I love it. We're both full time business owners. My husband is also a pastor, and we have a church and all of those good, fun things. But in that, listen, can I keep it real? I used to be stuck in a ungodly, toxic relationship that I knew was not meant for me. Have you ever been there before where you are settling with a man that you know is just not the one? And you are this amazing, incredible woman, and you're like, what in the world? What in the world am I why? It's like you have that moment, you have that come to Jesus moment of like, why am I settling in this relationship? And one of the things that really shifted for me was I was reading my word and I was reading Proverbs 18:22. And this really shifted everything for me because I read this verse, before, but there was one night where I was reading it. I broke it off. I broke off that toxic situationship because that's what it was. If I'm just being honest, broke off the toxic situationship that I was in for 3 years too long. And I was reading Proverbs 18:22 that said, he who finds a wife, let's rewind that back. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtaineth favor from the Lord. And I was like, oh my goodness. I have been dating like a girlfriend expecting to get a ring. It wasn't working, right? Like it wasn't working. I very much so had pick me vibes. I'm not even gonna lie. I used to be that woman. Even though I've always been this highly ambitious woman who I am very, very driven. I built a 7-figure company. I've also built other businesses and I've sold different businesses. Like I I love going after my purpose and what God has called me to do. I have a zest for life. I've always been that way. But in my love life, I was settling and everything shifted. Once I learned it's not about trying to grasp for a man to want me, but it was more about who I became as a woman. And we have now helped thousands of women around the world to learn how to position themselves to date for a marriage that makes hell nervous. And so I really want to dive into why becoming matters more than searching. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't teach women to search for a husband, but I do teach them how to position themselves to attract him. It does take putting yourself out there. Yeah, like that's not I'm searching. I'm like it's like it's this needy energy versus I'm positioning myself and I'm taking the actions to do that. Searching looks like striving and exhausting yourself. I was there. I was, even after I broke it off from the toxic situationship that I was in, I was putting myself out there and I was attracting all the wrong men still. And even if I did attract a good man, he would just disappear because I had this like grabby type of feel on the inside of me. And it was like, I need you to see me instead of I'm the one. Like, I am confident. Like, I don't need you to do anything. And so once I started learning how to date like a wife, I was still putting myself out there. Like, I was still having the conversations with men, but they pursued me in a totally different way because I was focused on becoming rather than needing a man to do anything for me. And because I was already whole within myself, like I felt so confident. I felt like I'm good. Like I was so confident in who I was that I was like, you know what? Like it is a like and not in a cocky kind of way, but it was just like and this is Bible here. When it says he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor. As a woman, I started understanding and stepping into the fact that like you are a gift. You are a gift because when you come into the man that God has for you, his life, you bring favor. Do you understand the power of favor? Like, and so I believe that as women, it's time for us to come back into that confidence of like, which man is going to get these blessings? Like, which man is going to get this favor brought into his life? And men understand that, but sometimes as women, we don't always see it. And people will always view you the way that you view yourself. And so if you don't see it within yourself, you don't see how amazing you are, you don't see that you are so special and like you could have any man that you wanted to have when you're dating. I'm talking about single, marriage minded, godly men. People don't feel like they don't feel that confidence because you don't feel it yourself. And so searching is not having that confidence because it's this grabbing. I need this because I need this to make me feel a certain way because I don't have it within myself first. That is so big. Like, even as a married woman, this is my work. Becoming is still my work because I don't need my husband to give me anything to make me feel whole. I am already that within myself. And that just creates this healthy, masculine, feminine pursuit. Like, it feels so good when you step into this because whenever we're stepped into God's natural design for our life, we thrive. Becoming looks like being aligned with God in your identity, in your confidence, and in your peace. And I was talking to one of my private clients the other day. She was like, what does it look like and feel like to walk in the spirit of a wife? And we were talking about it in the sense of, I was sharing with her my perspective of being a woman who's, been happily married for over 8 years. And then from a perspective of what that looks like when you're single. And it looks like you have this inner peace. Have you ever heard a man say before, she's my peace? I'm looking for a woman who is my peace. If we are going to be that to somebody else, to a healthy, masculine, godly man, then are you that for yourself? Do you feel at home with yourself? Do you just feel like, honey, it's not, does this man like me? It's, do I like him? Because that's the confidence that you bring, because you're so in touch with who you are and you know whose you are, and you are not a woman who's carrying all this bondage, carrying all this baggage of just past hurts and past pain. This is something that I started to really break off within myself, of just this neediness, because I've been so hurt, because all these things have happened. It's like, that is weighing you down so much. It's weighing you down so much. And for me, once I released that and I let that go, and I increased my confidence, like I did this work, I do the work that I teach, dating felt so much lighter and fun. If dating does not feel light and fun for you, it's most likely because you're carrying a lot of baggage in your heart that you need to let go of. There's the fear of vulnerability, there's the fear of being seen. And if you want to step into a healthy relationship that just like lights you up, like I am upset, like I love it so much. And it's not to say that my life is perfect or my marriage is perfect, because that doesn't exist. But boy, does it get to be good, because you work on your becoming. This is what this looks like. And we can pull this back to Matthew 6:33, where it talks about seeking first the kingdom of God, and all of these things will be added unto you. But I think where most people go wrong in this is that they're like, they take it as a pass to do nothing. It's like, no, like the Bible talks about taking action. The diligent, those that are diligent, are the ones that get the reward. In order to be diligent, you have to take action. And so it's about seeking God first and putting Him first in all areas of our lives, and having the confidence and just the peace of like, the how, God is working out the how for me, but the action and the faith, that's my job. And we can't expect to receive anything if we're not doing the action and we're not building up our faith. It takes being active to build up our faith. It is not just, I'm going to hope and believe for this thing, but it's like, are you pulling out the weeds in the garden of your mind? Or are you just like, nope, I'm just believing, but you have so many weeds that you haven't pulled out, because it's like, oh, I just think if I believe, it'll just happen for me. But there is the belief and the action, and God takes care of the rest. The how is God's job. The action and the faith, that's our job. And so let's talk about key areas of growth to prepare to be a godly match for the man that God has for you. So the first thing is character development. And when I think about character development, as women, I think about becoming a emotionally mature woman. It is so interesting to me how much as a society we are lacking really, really big emotional maturity and emotional intelligence. When you work on developing this, it is going to bless your love life and your future marriage, and just the peace that you feel on a day-to-day basis as a woman. Working on developing your integrity. If you want to feel confident, grow in your integrity by start setting small promises to yourself and then keeping them. Another key area of growth is your identity in Christ. Knowing that you are already chosen, you're already loved, you're already worthy. Tap yourself right now and say, I'm already worthy. But it's not just about saying it, it's about taking actions that align with knowing who you are. Because we can say affirmations all day. We can say affirmations all day, but if you don't show yourself that you are a woman who takes action behind the affirmations that she says, you are not going to believe it. And so I can give you some examples here. If you want to be a woman who is well loved, well taken care of, start doing that for yourself and walking in that in your identity. Maybe that's booking the spa trip for yourself. Maybe that's investing in the coach that's going to help you to activate this within yourself because you're in an environment where this is just the norm. That is going to help you to rapidly normalize the identity that you want to step into. So, understanding at a deep core your identity of who you are and who you are in Christ, there's always different levels to this. Tapping greater into your purpose and calling. Now, as I share this, I think one of the misconceptions that come up here is I need to have this all together now. I am still working on all of these and I always will be. It's not a matter of being perfect because I've talked to so many women where they're like, I need to get my finances all in order before I attract my man. And, it's like I'm talking about women who are really, really successful. Like they're already successful, but they're like, well, I just need to get this thing perfect. And it's like, who told you? Who told you that you need to have everything perfect and aligned before you attract your husband? And I see so many women that fall into this pitfall of like, well, I need to have this, and this, and I need to be perfectly whole. Nobody is ever going to be perfectly whole until we meet Jesus, honey, until we meet the King of Kings. And so these are things to be working on and to be aware of, but not to feel like I have to have all of this in order and in alignment, and then I'll be ready to meet my husband. So I want you to hear me in what I'm saying here and sharing these are things to be working on and working towards, but you can be working on attracting your husband at the same time. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have everything together because we never will. None of us are ever going to be perfect. So I just felt like sharing that in that moment. So one of the things that really helped me to feel lit up and just still does in my life and that really gave me a boost when it came to dating. So this is really interesting here is diving into my purpose and calling even more. The more that you dive into these things, the more magnetic you feel, the more lit up you are about life. Like I started just doing things that God placed on my heart. God was like, go to the nursing home and go minister to the elderly. Go give them hand massages. Because I went to school to be a massage therapist and I got my license and all of those things, but didn't really work in the field. But he was like, go and do that. Go and serve at the soup kitchen. Start this ministry. Start this business. That is so attractive when you are just lit up about what you're doing. And most likely, God has told you something to do. And it may seem small, it may seem whatever, but it's like, do the first thing. God will give you the instructions for the next thing when you do the first thing. And it increases your magnetism and your just attraction, and you have this glow. When you are walking in your purpose and calling, you don't have to have it all figured out. Do the thing, do the last thing that God told you to do. Okay, so another key area is emotional wellness. This looks like healing past soul ties. Some of you watching this might be like, what is a soul tie? Essentially, this is where you are tied up with somebody in an unhealthy way that is not your husband. I'm talking about unhealthy soul ties here. And so for me, I saved myself for marriage. But I still ended up getting a soul tie, and it was an emotional soul tie because I had attached myself with a man that was not my husband in a very intense way. And so I had to break that soul tie, because some of you watching this, the reason why you are not attracting the kind of men that you want to attract, or it feels like, okay, why is my husband not here? Like, I'm doing all the things. You invest in therapy. You've maybe invested in other coaching programs. Like, you are a woman who puts her money where her mouth is. You do the things. You don't just sit back and say, I'm just waiting on God. But like, you actually take action for what you want. And you're like, well, why isn't this happening? One of my clients, it was so interesting because she was like, I don't feel like I have any soul ties. Like, I think I'm good. I don't have anybody in my life. And she went, and she was in the single to wife program. She went and she, went through the training that we do on soul ties and fasting and all of that. And she was like, you're not going to believe this. God showed me 3 men that I was still tied to, that I needed to let go of. And he started showing her how. And she released them. And shortly after, her husband came into the picture. That's how powerful this is. If other men are taking up space of where only your husband should be in your heart, it's hard for him to come in. It's almost like we can feel it on an energetic level of like, something's not right there. And I feel like for men, it feels like there's a block of him coming in and pursuing, because he can feel that. So interesting. Emotional wellness also looks like releasing fear. Women who are highly successful in their love life, they are women who, they are willing to be courageous. They're willing to be bold. And when I say bold, a lot of people think, well, does that mean that I'm supposed to go out here pursuing men and all of these things, and it's and essentially being in your masculine energy and pursuing? It's not what I mean. I mean knowing what you want, releasing the fear of what if I get hurt, all of these negative things. Because when we are settled and we have all these negative things in our mind, you are building from your past and you're recreating your past of what you didn't want in the first place, instead of building from your future. You know what? I'm going to be courageous and I'm going to put myself out there. And I am going to do what I need to do. And it's going to build up your confidence when you put yourself out there and you say, I'm willing to be seen, and you come out from hiding. Releasing the fear of, what if the same situation happens from my last relationship? You are operating from a place of recreating your past because you're fearing it so much. You're allowing it to have such a stronghold over you that you're recreating it. Emotional wellness looks like building confidence. How do we build confidence? You build confidence from taking action. It doesn't just come from I'm saying affirmations, it comes from being willing to say, oh, okay, that man looks nice over there at my church. I'm going to go say hello. Hi, how are you? That is not pursuing a man. I feel like so many women are held back because they have the wrong, they like having the wrong definition of what pursuing a man actually means. Pursuing a man is not saying, hi, how are you? My name is such and such. You're opening up the door of interest. That is totally okay. That's not you being like, you want to be my boyfriend? Like, it's not you chasing after a man. It's you saying, I'm open, I'm available, and I'm available for a pursuit. You open the door and he decides if he wants to walk through and pursue you. Emotional wellness. And a lot of these things are the foundations that we teach in our Single to Wife program, so that you don't just get into a relationship, but into the right covenant relationship. So let's talk about common pitfalls that women fall into. when it comes to becoming the woman who is able to attract her match. And one of those things is waiting passively for God to bring you in your man without preparing, without putting yourself out there. And just like, you know what? Like, I want to attract my husband, but I stay home every single night. I don't put myself on the dating apps. I'm not putting myself out there. What if, like, let me give you this perspective. If it feels good, you can try it on. What if putting yourself out there and understanding and learning how to date for marriage is one of the best personal development experiences that you've ever went through before? There are a few things in my life that have really, really helped me to grow as a woman, and understanding how to date the right way is one of them. In my marriage, it is one of my greatest personal development journeys, and building a business and being a mother. But I love the journey. And when we just allow ourselves to sit back and say, you know, God's going to do this without us taking action, you are denying yourself of one of the greatest personal development journeys that you could ever go on. There can be so much fear around dating and all of these things because we're scared of what if. We're scared of an uncomfortable feeling for a moment, when really that's the thing that you need to run towards. That's a whole lesson within itself. Another common pitfall is believing that you are not enough until marriage. I need to have this in order. I need to have that in order. I need to have that in order. Like, you don't know how many women I have talked to that are like, I need to work on and get this together first before I put myself out there. And then, like, and it's okay to work on things, it's good to heal, but it's hindering you when you're still in the same place 5 years later, because it's a procrastination tactic. Saying I'm not enough or I'll be good enough when I have X, Y, and Z, you're good enough now. You're good enough now. You don't need to have all your ducks in a row in perfect aligned order. No, you're good enough now. And it's understanding that, like, you're already whole, you're already good. We get to work on these things from a place of abundance and overflow. And that increases your magnetism, your confidence, all of these things. Another common pitfall is settling with men who are not aligned because of feeling lonely. How many times do we do that in our life? We set a goal, we set a standard, and then we're like, but I'm scared it's not going to happen, so let me just settle with this man that's giving me attention. That is not a woman who is dating like a wife and that knows that she is a wife. So, how can we start working on becoming today? How can we work on not striving and just like, this grabby place, but it's like, I'm already good. And it's not from a place of I'm suppressing my desires, because that is actually a common pitfall as well. It's like, I'm good. I don't need a man. Like, I'm fine. I'm good. But it's like, you really crave and desire that. And that's not a bad thing. You really crave and desire to be in a marriage, to be loved. That desire is from God, and it's so beautiful. Practice journaling out your identity. One of the things that I like to do is, even in my prayers, like, I'll write out, God, I am so grateful. Like, I'll thank God for things in advance. I'm so grateful that blah, 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 and that I'm walking in this and that this is happening. Like, God, you're so good. Like, I will like journal and like pray that way. And it feels really good of like, you know what, God, I thank you that I prayed for this, because the word says to ask, seek, knock, and the door will be opened unto you. And so is that your faith, that you're like, okay, I'm asking, I'm seeking, and I'm knocking? Most people just ask. They don't actually seek and knock. The seeking and the knocking is the taking the action and the getting uncomfortable and really showing, like, I'm about this thing. Like, I'm about what I say that I want, because I put my money where my mouth is. So you can journal that out and just praying and releasing these things unto God and looking for ways of, where can I put myself out there? How can I grow and develop in my calling and my purpose? Because that's going to make you so lit up about life and really embodying your feminine presence, softening as a woman, releasing. Just like relax your shoulders. Work on receiving more and honoring yourself. And when a man is not aligned with you, letting him go and not going back to him. Building up your confidence in your unique value. Nobody does it quite like you, because nobody is you. In this entire earth, in this entire time on the planet, there's been nobody like you. You are so unique. You are so special. You are that woman. You are that woman. And so you don't have time to strive. You don't have time to chase. It's not who you are. It's not who you want to be. When you become the woman that God designed you to be, and it's not from a place of you're not good enough now, because you are, the man God has for you will see it and he will be drawn to it. And so make sure to grab my free trainings below. And if this has blessed you and you're like, I want to work with you deeper, like I'm ready to invest in what it is that I want, like this just stirred something up within you, you can apply to work with us in our Single to Wife program. And we will be happy to see you in there. And so make sure to like and subscribe. Share this with your friends if there is another woman that you feel would be blessed by this. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.